I want to warn you up front. Some of what I'm about to say is going to make you feel like you've been played. And maybe you have been, because cruise lines are very, very good at getting more money out of your wallet without you feeling it. But today I'm going to walk you through 7 of the strategies they use so that you can decide if you want to hand over more of your hard-earned cash. I'm Gary with Optimal Cruising, bringing you the cruise insider information you need to avoid mistakes, save money, and protect yourself so that you can have your best cruise ever. Anyone who's been cruising as long as I have knows that you used to pay all of your gratuities in cash directly to your room steward or your waiter. But that has changed. Cruise lines have taken over the gratuity process and now charge every single passenger automatic gratuities. This is a charge automatically added to your bill while you're on board. Now, they claim that this is to ensure that all the people that served you get their fair share of gratuities. But is it? When on many cruise ship websites, they explicitly state that they pool all of the gratuities that they receive and divide them up among all of the personnel on their entire fleet, which means the gratuities they charged you on your cruise might not directly impact anybody who is even on your cruise ship. And then a lot of experts believe that cruise lines are getting away with paying staff members much smaller salaries because they supplement those salaries with the actual gratuities, which are supposed to be tips for good service. What they don't want you to know is that you can take the control out of their hands. In fact, if you want to still tip in cash and tip directly to your room steward, to your waiter, to anybody else who served you on your cruise, you can remove or reduce your onboard gratuities and hand extra tips out in cash instead. Gratuities are not a requirement. They are gratuities designed to reward good service. But the cruise lines would like us to believe that they are an absolute requirement. And that's just another way that they take a little more money out of our wallets. In my opinion, this one isn't necessarily a bad thing. I kind of enjoy them. And that is the new beach clubs being built like crazy these days. Royal Caribbean is leading the way, putting new beach clubs all over the world. Carnival's trying to keep up. In fact, I was just on Celebration Key, which is on Grand Bahama Island. But these aren't the typical private islands. These are just beach clubs built on larger islands in places like the Bahamas, Cozumel, Greece, and they're growing, and they're designed for the cruise ship to funnel passengers right into a grand oasis of a resort that is entirely theirs. Once you step off the ship, for example, in Celebration Key, you see these massive lagoon-style pools. They've got some twisty water slides. They've got full-service restaurants, swim-up bars, snack shacks, shopping. They have it all there. They don't want you to leave, and maybe you don't want to, but just realize that every dollar you're spending there is going right into the cruise line's pocket. Now, this is probably really good business planning, but we need to think about it because the more this takes off, the more likely they're going to be able to start raising prices more for drinks, food, and other things and taking away some of the free perks. In most of these places, everything is a la carte with the exception of maybe free food or a free meal. So that means even if you have the drink package on the ship, you're paying extra for drinks on these beach clubs. And everything is an upsell. Since the very beginning of cruising, when ships dock at ports of call, they have been putting the fear in people that if they don't book shore excursions through the cruise line, they could definitely miss that ship. And the ship won't wait for anybody unless you book a shore excursion with them. But does that ever really happen? The answer is no. It's extremely rare. It almost never happens that passengers miss their ship when booking a tour through a reputable third-party provider. And why would you want to do that? Because the cruise lines charge a premium tax of 30 to 50% just for taking their excursions. You can find the exact same excursions in many ports of call for much less with companies like Viator or Shore Excursions Group. I've got links to both of them in my description if you want to check them out and compare. This is a big way to keep more of your money in your pocket and still have a great excursion. What do you think? Do you have that fear in the back of your head that keeps you booking with the cruise line? Let me know in the comments below. I'm not going to give you another lecture on whether or not you should buy the drink package. I have other videos that can help you make that decision. But this is about what the cruise lines do with the drink package that quietly gets people to spend more than they think. Cruise lines use a very basic psychology here. They lower that price of the drink package if you purchase before you step on board that ship. And so most people do, and they should. They get a better deal on it. But then you've already bought it, and you're not thinking about the money you spent on it. So when you walk on board that ship, every drink kind of feels like a free drink. When you step up to the bar and order that first Mai Tai, are you really thinking, well, I spent $600 on this package, I better make sure I order a bunch more? Most people don't. Most people are just in vacation mode. They're having fun. And when you start ordering those drinks, you're not really paying much attention or even caring about the price because it's already included in your package. And that starts to train your brain. And a lot of people, when they then go and walk into a shop, for example, and pick out some things, they're not really thinking about the price. They're going up to the register, they're handing them their shipboard card, and it's being automatically put on their account. But these things are being charged. And this can go on and on in the spa, in the casino, with specialty dining. The cruise lines don't want you to think about those prices. They want to get you in the mode of just handing in your key card and getting something back. Not to mention that you already paid for this drink package, in many cases months ago, so now you don't feel like that's costing you anything. And the data shows that cruisers who buy the drink package consistently outspend non-package cruisers on extra things during their cruise, including this next one. You don't have to look hard through Reddit or even Facebook or Instagram these days to find people complaining about how the quality of food in the main dining rooms on a lot of cruise lines has gone down. And there is a secret behind this, and that is that the cruise lines want to give you more incentive to spend money on their specialty restaurants. Now, granted, on most cruise ships, those specialty restaurants are real fine dining. It's a good meal. But you already paid for all your food. So when you're going to a specialty restaurant, you're paying extra and you're not taking advantage of what you already paid for. And granted, most food in the specialty restaurants is a lot better than what you get in the main dining room, but it's engineered that way so that you'll spend more money. In a minute, I'm going to get to the one thing you've probably never heard before. But first, if you would take a minute and hit that like button, subscribe to our channel so that we can keep bringing you Cruise Insider information. I learned a long time ago that once you step on that cruise ship, you're a captive audience and the prices of everything are kind of inflated. And that's just to be expected. But the worst ripoff of all to me is the Wi-Fi. I mean, you can pay for 1 day of Wi-Fi what you might pay for a whole month of internet back in your house. If you really need that Wi-Fi, there are some ways to get it for cheaper. For one, if you need the full Wi-Fi service the ship is offering, buy it well in advance and you'll get 30 to 40% off of their already exorbitant rates. Or you can use something like GigSky on most vessels. You can look it up and see if it'll work on your ship, but it's a lot cheaper version of internet Wi-Fi, and it's like a SIM card that works with your cell phone. The only problem is a lot of users experience some intermittency, so it doesn't work all the time, and it's not really for full-on streaming. It's more for social media or texting. And sometimes I'll just go without the Wi-Fi altogether, especially if I'm on a cruise that has 4 or 5 ports of call. I can connect at all those ports with my cellular carrier, and I can go 1 or 2 sea days without Wi-Fi and save $150. Now, let's look at the sneaky trick in cruise ship casinos that gets you to spend more. Casinos in general are designed to take our money. But what they're doing more and more these days, especially on cruise ships, is moving toward a completely cashless transaction system, especially if you're playing slots or video poker or anything like that. Because you'll just use your shipboard account and what you play will be charged right to that account. This removes that psychological barrier of having to reach for your wallet and grab another $100 bill and put it in the machine while your brain's thinking, wait, this is costing me real money. When you're just using that card for your shipboard account, it's more abstract. Their goal is to create a frictionless system so you don't feel that money coming out of your wallet because it's just electronically being put on your shipboard account. Now, I'm not saying not to play the cruise ship casino. A lot of people love doing this, and I know many cruisers who win tons of free cruises just by playing through $500 or $600, and that's a great deal. But set a budget so you don't get caught in a trap and end up spending way more money in the casino than you ever planned to. If you're looking to book a cruise, we maintain a list of the best cruise deals you can book right now. If you'd like a copy, just comment deals or click on the deals link in our description. So now that you've got the insider information on how cruise lines take more money out of our wallets, there are a few things that they're not doing, which is causing passengers to be denied boarding. Don't let that happen to you. I'll tell you how to avoid it right